Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to United Racing League. Today, this is season number 4, Division 8, race number 13 in Saudi Arabia. And as you saw just now, Tuturula, he spun out. It looked like he spun out of the pit wall, but he reset the track. Nothing to worry about there. It was just a driver mistake. He's starting his outlap on this 27-turn circuit that is roughly 3.8 miles, 6.1 kilometers, whatever you want to say. This is personally my favorite street circuit. I'm not a fan of street circuits, but this one is definitely my favorite because of how fast it is. And Tuturula's lap time is unfortunately invalidated, but it's not really too much of a concern because he's just starting he's going to be on an outlap just to warm up those tires. Meanwhile, the other drivers are also, they're also starting their outlap as well. We've got Miesbach, we've also got the two Mercedes drivers of David, just David, Mercedes. We've got the McLarens of Bad Mato and Toxic Planet also starting their outlap as Tuturula goes back into the pits, probably just to relax after hitting those walls and stuff. So the first person to start their flying lap will be Miesbach. And unfortunately, his lap time will be invalidated, probably because of track limits. R13 also starts his flying lap, as does a few other drivers. David has started his flying lap. Toxic Planet has started his flying lap. Bad Mato has returned to the pits. Kiko will start his flying lap now. And Miesbach politely gets out of the way for David to continue on with his flying lap, currently on those medium compound tires. And into the last turn he goes. Gets that apex pretty well done, turns pretty well. He's got DRS once again, and it's going to be a 128.2. Solid performance from David. Miesbach will restart his flying lap after an unfortunate unfortunately invalidating his lap time. And Toxic Planet sets a lap time of a 129.1. Not as fast, about like almost a second behind. And David retires on the track. He probably had a crash. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. R13 sets a 128.4. And he's letting R13 is letting the other drivers go by to start their outlaps, and also maybe a flying lap as well. And this track has a lot of interesting battles happen. We've seen it happen with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in 2021, and then in this year it happened. There's been a battle with Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton won the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in 2021, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Max Verstappen that won this year's Saudi Arabia race. I'm going to have to check that real quick. And yes, he did. Max Verstappen did win the 2022 Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. And Kiko, as I was talking, Kiko set a lap time of 129.4. So, 1 whole second behind R13. And the next person to cross the line is the Walkers. He sets a lap time of a 127. So he takes pole position from David. Awesome work from him. And then we saw Alan Liam just start his flying lap as well. And Counter Silva set a lap time of 128.7. Tuturula sets a lap time of 128.8. So now we're seeing that these drivers are pulling in the high 20s. And Tuturula set a blistering Sector 1 lap time. I saw the purple sector on the map. I don't know what time it was. I don't know what the time was on there. I didn't see it. I was looking at the grid. And if you're just tuning in, welcome aboard. We've got about 11 minutes remaining, or 10 and a half minutes remaining, I think. We are currently here in the qualifying session of Season 4, Division 8, race number 13, here in the Jeddah Street Circuit. And this is the penultimate race of this season for this division. So, to give you a rundown, currently in the lead of the Drivers' Championship is Marcus, who is 22 points ahead of Batmato. And then David is third in the Drivers' Championship right now. And yeah, right now it's pretty much going to be a showdown between Marcus and Batmato for these next few races. And then, so we got today here in Saudi Arabia, and then next week will be the final race of the season. It'll be in Brazil. Stay tuned for that, because I have a feeling it's going to be an wild race. And Alan Liam gets DRS. I think Alan Liam might be boxing this lap, probably having a cooldown. And then we also have Niesbach, who again starts a new flying lap, and he had a purple sector, Sector 1. And let's see what Sector 2 time he's going to get. He's going to be 58.4. So he could potentially take pole position from the Walkers. He just has to keep it. He just has to keep a steady performance into the last few turns he goes into. He set a purple sector from Sector 1 and Sector 2. He's going to go into the last turn. I think he might have hit the wall, but he's still pushing. And what's it going to be? It's going to be good enough for P3, a 128.3. It's probably from using so much ERS that because what I saw on the telemetry was that he used his deploy on his ERS, and guess it was just he just used too much. But solid work from Niesbach, and Stretcher T lets him by. And then we got Brian B, who's about to set a lap time. It's going to be a 129.7. And Zaymor's lap time, unfortunately, it will be invalidated. So Zaymor's going to have to try again sometime later. And Kiko sets a 128.1, so he brings himself back up into the front row. Solid work from him. The Walker still is on provisional pole position with a 127.9. Currently on an outlap on those medium compound tires. Kiko currently has the soft compound tires as Mi's Box sets a 128 sharp. Wow, that is impressive. Takes the front row spot from Kiko. So the next person to cross the line will be Toxic Planet. Actually, no, wait, it'll be Kiko. And he's going to go into the pits. So Toxic Planet will be the next person to cross the line. What is he going to set? He's going to improve his lap time. It's going to be 128.6, and now he is in P6. And we've got 5.5 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Currently, the grid is as follows. The Walkers currently in P1. Provisional pole position. Then it'll be Miesbachs, Kiko, David, Stretch Artiste, Toxic Planet, Catcher Silva, Tutorula, Batmato, and then Alan Liam. That'll be your top 10. That'll be provisional top 10, I should say. Then we got Zaymore and Brian B. And then Marcus, who's just started his outlap. He's about to enter into the third sector. He's going to have DRS. And he's got those medium compound tires. We'll be riding on board with him for his flying lap. And there goes Marcus. He is going to start his flying lap starting now. Only P9 so far, probably just because of that accident he had, probably from hitting the wall, in, I think it was Sector 2 or Sector 3. But, looks like he's gonna try again, and hopefully he'll be able to improve his position, and, yeah. With 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, what can these drivers do to improve their lap times? Cacho Silva is going to try again, as is Tuturula and Marcus. And same with Kiko. He's actually about to start another flying lap, as Zaymore just stops right there to let the drivers pass, as Kiko unfortunately will have his lap time invalidated. track limits can be a bit strange around here. Capture Silva says a fast sector of Sector 1. This could be interesting. It's very interesting to see how these drivers take these corners, because it can be kind of crucial. Actually, no, it can be very crucial. It's just that this track feels so smooth. I mean, Valtteri Bottas even said over the radio that he really liked this track. He absolutely loves it, and I can't blame him, because this is a very fun track. I remember when this track first came out in an update for F1 2021. It was an absolute blast to play this track. Katsura's got DRS after that last turn, and it's going to be second place on the grid. So he takes second place from Mies Box. Really nice job. It's a 127.986. So that's 14 thousandths of a second ahead. Very tight. These are very tight gaps between these drivers so far. Next person to cross the line is going to be Sergio Artiste. Is he going to be able to improve his lap time? Yes, he does. He sets pole position. It's going to be provisional pole for Sergio Artiste with a 127.4. That is amazing work from Sergio Artiste. Next up is... No, sorry, not Tuturula. It's Alan Liam. He's next. What's it going to be? It's going to only improve to P8. So he'll keep his teammate company. Actually, wait, no. He won't be able to, because those two will be in the different rows. Unless Tuturula gets ahead. Oh, Marcus sets a lap time, improves. I think he did. It's going to be 128.6, only enough for P9. So, not bad. Next up is going to be Toxic Planet. He's going to set his lap time, hoping to improve. He's going to go down the last turn. Takes that turn really well. He's going to have DRS yet again. And what's it going to be? It's going to be enough for P5. 128.082. So solid work from Toxic Planet. And then we had Kiko. He's going to be... he has himself locked into second place. Next across the line will be Bat Matto, unless he's going to go into the pits. Can he improve his lap time? Ooh! Ooh! P2! 127.73! 5/100ths faster than Kiko. Nice work from Batmato. So, if you're just tuning in, welcome aboard. We're just about to finish the qualifying session for this race. It is Division 8, Season number 4, Race number 13, Saudi Arabia. And the grid will look like this. Sergio Artiste sets a blistering pole position, puts himself first place on the grid. Next to him will be Bad Matto. And then we got Kiko in P3. The walk is going to keep him company in that second row. Then we got Katsura and Miespax. And then Toxic Planet and David. And... I didn't get to see the rest of the grid. So I stopped at David, then we got Alan Liam, Marcus, Tuturula, Zaymore, and Brian B. So, this will be your starting grid for this race, the penultimate race of the season. It's been pretty wild, I shall say. We could likely see some aggressive strategies going on for the drivers, considering that this is supposed to be the fastest street circuit in the F1 calendar. And one thing I also want to mention is that we are very close to the launch of F1 22. We've got about 1 month left once it hits June. And yeah, I myself am really hyped up. And not much else needs to be said, I guess, to explain my hype. I'm sure that we are all hyped, as well as having a wonderful Formula One season this year, with championship fight with like Red Bull and Ferrari. Though Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc have been having a very good fight of their own. And yeah, so starting formation lap right here. We've got the drivers just warming up their tires. On your screen, you saw the predicted pit stop strategies. If I remember clearly, they were both one-stop strategies. We've got the top 7 in the soft compound tires, and then we got the last 6 drivers in the medium compound tires. I have to think about that for a moment, because I wasn't sure if it was 7 or 8. Anyways, so we got those drivers. So it's gonna be a bit of an aggressive strategy, I'm feeling. Yeah. So, the driver is about to go into that last turn. Stretch already passed it, and so the other drivers, we got the last McLaren of Toxic Planet coming in, and then we got David, Linnea, Marcus, Tuturula, Zaymore, and Brian. There must have been contact between Marcus and Tuturula, because it just showed on the bottom screen that they've been disqualified and they're at the grid already. Speaking of which, one of the things that's really cool about F1 22 is that you'll be able to do the formation lap manually, and you'll be on your starting grid position. Yeah, not really much else to say. So 5 lights are on. And it's lights out and away we go for the penultimate race of the season. I saw some rubbers smoking, and we got Bad Matter who overtook Stretch, but Stretch is going to be fighting back, and there's... Wow. There's absolute carnage. Actually, no, not carnage, but Bad Matter gets an excellent start ahead of Stretch and Kiko chasing it behind. And then we got the Walkers and Catcher Silva fighting. And then Mies Max, Toxic Planet, Marcus, David, and there's Alan Liam all the way at the back over there. I'm not sure what entirely happened. He might have had a bit of a mishap. Oh, he spun around. He's spun around. Meanwhile, Bad Mato secures first place from Stretcher Tiste. Meanwhile, Stretcher Tiste and Kiko are having a battle of their own for P2, as is Cacho Silva. And then the other drivers are coming in, having their battle as typical for the first lap. Is Miesbach's about to overtake the Walkers? Yes, he does. He managed to get past the Walkers, but the Walkers is not giving up. Oh, I think there was contact, and the Walkers, he might have hit the wall. He hit the wall. Because of the contact, the Walkers ended up hitting the wall. It might have been just a racing incident. And then Cacho Silva overtakes Kiko. Bad Mato currently sets the fastest lap. And so the first lap's completed. Currently the field is that Bad Mato is currently in the lead. He had an excellent start ahead of Stretcher Tiste for the first few turns. And then Cacho Silva, Kiko, Miesbach, Toxic Planet, then David, and then Marcus. That's gonna be your top 8 so far in this lap. The Walkers goes into the pits for soft compound tires. And Alan Liam will not go into the pits. He stays out. So currently, Cacho Silva has gained 2 positions. Kiko has lost 1. There's your predicted pit stop strategy. So you could either go for a soft medium strategy or a soft hard strategy. That could be interesting to see how it's going to turn out. Soft medium would be more aggressive, and the hard tires will be long lasting. Depending on what strategy the drivers are going to go for, it could get interesting. So the gaps are starting to increase between each drivers. Stretcher Tiste is not gonna let down from the fight between himself and Bad Mato for P1. Stretcher Tiste currently sets the fastest lap time of a 1:31.494, and I think DRS is going to be I think DRS has been enabled. And Toxic Planet gets ahead of David. And yeah, there will be DRS starting this lap. Stretcher Tiste will have DRS, but Cacho Silva also had DRS. And I think Kiko may have had DRS as well. So, not only is Stretcher Tiste have to handle the pressure of fighting against Bad Mato, but he's also got a few other cars behind him who could be catching up soon. Meanwhile, in the midfield, Toxic Planet is defending his position from David and also Marcus. It's going to be a battle for P6. David has GRS, and he overtakes Toxic Planet. And Stretcher Tiste also gets past Bad Mato. With the assistance of DRS, I'm assuming. But Bad Mato has DRS now. Is he going to get past? Cacho Silva sets the fastest lap time, and Bad Mato does get past Stretcher Tiste. Into the first chicane they go into. And Cacho Silva also joining in the battle for P1. He's trying to get past Stretcher Tiste. The gap is increasing and decreasing rapidly. Stretcher Tiste will have a 3-second time penalty. And Stretcher Tiste and Cacho Silva will have DRS. So there's going to be a little bit of pressure. Chituro's got a 3-second time penalty as well. Bad Mato might have a little bit of pressure on him as they go into that corner over there. I forgot I don't know the number. Yeah, Stretcher Tiste and Cacho Silva catching up to Bad Mato. So Currently, still going to be a battle for P1. The pressure's going to really get onto Batmato as they head into the next corners. And we might have it. We're going to get into some DRS right now. Stretcher Tiste has DRS, as does Cacho Silva. They're going to go wheel to wheel, and oh, this is tight. Stretcher Tiste and Cacho Silva are overtaking each other. Oh no, there's contact! Stretcher Tiste gets into the wall. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is unfortunate. Stretcher Tiste will be going into the pits. Oh man, that is unfortunate. It was a crazy battle. They were wheel to wheel, but Cacho Silva and Stretcher Tiste made contact, and it caused Stretcher Tiste in the Alpine to slide into the wall and spin around. Holy cow, that was crazy. I think my heart stopped for a moment. So, now it's just a battle between Cacho Silva and Batmato. So if you're just tuning in right now, welcome aboard. We are currently on lap 5, and it is Division 8, Season number 4, Race number 13, Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah Corniche Circuit. David gets past Kiko. So currently it's both Mercedes drivers are on the podium positions. And Cacho Silva, is he going to be able to get past Batmato? He's got both ERS and DRS pushing, and yes, Cacho Silva does get past Batmato, but can Batmato regain that position within the next DRS zone? Miesbach and Marcus Toxic Planet having a battle of their own. Miesbach's got a 3-second time penalty. He managed to get past Marcus and Toxic Planet, but Marcus is not holding back, and neither is Toxic Planet. Brian B also gets part of this battle. This could get interesting, a 4-way battle for P5, and Marcus, deploying his ERS and DRS, gets past the whole enchilada, but Toxic Planet, what's he gonna do? He went down the inside, and no, Toxic Planet spun! Toxic Planet spun! He's out of that battle. Now it's going to be a 3-way battle for P5, unless Tutorula also joins this battle, and it seems like he is. He's going to be joining this battle, but for P5, still a 4-way battle, but instead of Toxic Planet, it's going to be Tutorula. Stretcher Tiste will retire from the session. Stretcher Tiste is retired from the session. And Marcus holds the P5 position, and it's been a 5-second gap, 5.5-second gap behind Kiko, as Brian B fights with Marcus. David sets the fastest lap of a 1:31.1, and David gets past Batmato as well. It's a 1-2 for Mercedes right now. Brian B gets past Marcus, and Zaymor gets past Miesbach, because Miesbach is going into the pits for those medium compound tires. He's pitting on lap 7 to repair that front wing. Wow, what a crazy race it has been so far. We are on lap 7 of 25, and we've had an intense fight in both the front and in the midfield here in Jeddah, the fastest street circuit on the Formula 1 calendar. And as I take a sip of water, we see that Marcus is going again at Brian B. He's chasing him down. with a 0.2 of a second gap. This could get interesting. Marcus will have DRS on the next, after this turn. Goes a little wide. Brian goes down the inside. And there's DRS and ERS. Marcus is completely pushing for it. And he manages to get past Brian B. There's nothing Brian could really do. He knows that this battle is not really his, for the championship. Tuturula gets another 3-second time penalty. Bad Matter will now have a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Meanwhile, with Cacho Silva and David, this could get interesting. So that gap between David and Cacho Silva is starting to decrease as Zamor gets a 3-second time penalty. Is David gonna get past? He went down the inside, and yes, David does get past Cacho Silva. Well, yeah, DRS, and now they're going into that last turn. Zamor gets past Tuturula, and now the drivers. Those two Mercedes drivers are starting their ninth lap, still on soft compound no, actually, David is on the medium compound tires. Cacho Silva will be on, is currently on the soft compound tires, as is Batmato, Kiko, and Toxicplanet, and the Walkers. All the other drivers are on medium compound tires. Tuturula is going to go into the pits. And he will be pitting for... what tire compound is it? It is soft compound tires and a front wing repair. And it's still currently at 1-2 for Mercedes. So, with Batmato in P3 and Marcus in P5, if Batmato keeps up this good work, then it could mean that he could decrease the gap in the championship between himself and Marcus. And it'll be for an exciting battle next week in Brazil, as Cacho Silva goes into the pits to change tires. Kiko will get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Marcus currently in P3. So now he's going to try to catch up to Batmato. So if you're just tuning in, welcome on board. We are currently on lap 10 of 25 in this race. We are racing in Saudi Arabia. This is race number 13, the penultimate race of the season, season 4, Division 8, here on United Racing League, our very own YouTube channel. You can also follow our Twitter and join our Discord server if you're interested in joining, or if you want to just chat with the other drivers and have a fun time, practice racing, sign up for divisions. We will be ending this. This season 4 pretty soon. And if you're looking for a challenge, you're welcome to join this Discord server. As David stays out of the pits, currently on lap 11 of 25. And meanwhile, there's a battle between Kiko and Toxic Planet in the midfield. Battle for P7. Kiko has that penalty. And Toxic Planet will go into the pits. So currently, there's a lot of different gaps. Bat Metal will go into the pit. Gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunately, Marcus will stay out, and David will stay out as well. So now, Marcus, it's 9 seconds behind of David. So this is gonna be interesting to see. We've got. Well, Marcus is the master of ERS in this division, so it seems like he could catch up to David. It's still anyone's race. We're on lap 12 of 25. Tuturulo sets the fastest lap time. It's a 1:30.4. The Walkers is in the pits. He will be pitting for, or he has pitted for, medium compound tires. Couch Silver gets past Brian B. So now, both Mercedes drivers are still at the podium. Both Mercedes drivers are in podium positions. David currently in P1. Couchasov is currently in P3. And the gap between David and Marcus is starting to increase. So, if David keeps this up, he could secure another victory for this season. He won both last week and also the race in China. So he won the Chinese Grand Prix, the Mexican Grand Prix, and could he secure a third race victory for this season? That could be interesting. We're on lap 13 right now. And Brian B and Cacho Silva still having that battle for P3. And with David and Marcus currently on the same compound tires, either one could go for the undercut, or they could both pit at the same lap. So a few laps ago, it was like a roughly 9-second gap between David and Marcus. Now it's a 10-second gap between David and Marcus. And Kiko gets past Zaymor. And Zaymor will have DRS, because he's 1 second within Kiko. Or he's within 1 second of Kiko. Is he going to get past? He goes around the outside, and Zaymor does get past Kiko. But, is Kiko going to fight back? Yes, he will. Now Kiko has DRS, Zaymor does not, and Kiko will gladly take back P6 from Zaymor. Kiko has the fresher tires. Zaymor has not pitted yet. Brian B and Catcher Silver are still having that battle of their own. Meesbax gets a 3-second time penalty again. And now David is just increasing the gap between himself and Marcus. Again, it's earlier it was a 10-second gap. Now it's going to be now it's 10.5 seconds. Maybe it's going to be 11 seconds. Within like maybe the next lap or two. So it seems like if David can keep this pace up, he may be able to pit and still remain in first place. But I'm holding my tongue on that because David is going into the pits right now. And what is Marcus going to do? He also pits. So both drivers will go into the pits. David is pitted for soft compound tires. And Brian P will get past Marcus. And Marcus is pitted for soft compound tires. So he will exit the pits ahead of Alan Liam. So now David is just cruising around right now. He has, whatever, he's just holding that position right now. Yeah, almost dropped my controller there. So yeah, David currently ahead of all the drivers. Brian B still needs to pit. Batmato is in P3. But it looks like there's going to be a battle between Batmato and Cachasilva relatively soon. And Meesbax retires from the session. What happened? I wonder what happened there. There's gonna be a full safety car. And oh, he's crashed. Oh man. Meesbax has crashed. He's out of the session. So with the safety car deployed, what is gonna happen now? We've got these drivers coming into the pits now. Cachasilva has soft tires. Pretty much everybody here will have soft compound tires. Alan Liam has soft tires. Todd Kaplan's gonna have soft tires. The Walkers, he's gonna pit. I think it's likely that he's gonna go for the soft compound tires as well. We are on lap 16 now. What an insane turn of events it's been. It's absolutely crazy, because I said that there was going to be like an 11-second gap between David and Marcus, but Meesbax crashes, retires from pits, retires, and he's just, yeah, now he's, yeah, so once the safety car comes in, it's going to be interesting, because what David would need to do to stay ahead of Marcus is either Marcus doesn't have the best start or best restart, or David gets the best restart he could possibly get, and yeah. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, welcome aboard. We are currently on race number 13 of Division 8, season number 4, Saudi Arabia. And Kachasova goes back into the pits to get a new set of tires. Because unfortunately, when he went into the pits the first time, he wasn't able to get a fresh set. Now he will be able to. And unfortunately, he'll be in P10. So now, all that's left for the safety car to come in is Kachasova and the Walkers to both come back, and they will pretty soon. There's the Walkers. So, it's either going to be this lap or the next lap that the safety car is going to come in. I have a feeling that's going to be this lap that the safety car comes in because the cars are all lined up and they're ready to go, I'm guessing. So, just hoping that nothing crazy happens during this point, or after the safety car comes in, because we don't want to repeat something that happened in the Tuscan Grand Prix in 2020, where the safety car come in and then there was a big crash. Safety car will come in this lap. And Marcus is absolutely just getting close to David. He's ready to go full force. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Everybody has 100% ERS. Alrighty. Safety car is about to come in, and David sends it, and yeah, he gets an excellent, he just absolutely pushes for it. He gets away well, but Marcus is slowly catching up to him. The gap is starting to decrease, and yeah, going to go into the first few turns, and now there's a battle between Alan Liam and Kiko, as well as Toxic Planet and Tuturula. Alan Liam and Kiko were side by side. Now Kiko gets past Alan Liam. And Marcus and Tuturula got 3-second time penalties now. So it's going to put the pressure on for Marcus on his championship position. Is he going to be able to build a big enough gap ahead of David once he passes him? And it's not just Marcus. Bad Meadows starting to catch up as well, as is Brian B and Seymour. So the two Alpha Tires are putting pressure on Bad Meadow here. And just a few laps will have DRS enabled. Bad Meadow's deploy has used all the deploy he could use so far in this lap of his ERS. So that means that Brian B and Seymour could potentially get past, but it doesn't look like they will be able to. Davis has the fastest lap of a 1:29.4 in this race. So now David and Marcus, it looks like David is still building up a gap that's big, building a bigger gap between himself and Marcus, or right now starting to decrease a little bit from going into those two turns, and now it's going to go back up again. It's slowly increasing and decreasing. It's going up and down. But it looks like David is going to be able to increase the gap between himself and Marcus. Both drivers have relatively the same. Actually, no, they don't have the same amount of ERS. Marcus still has a little bit more ERS than David. So this could definitely be interesting to see what's going to happen. We're on lap 19 of 25. And this has been a wild race, as Tuturula, unfortunately, he has spun. So the three top drivers in the championship are all on the podium right now with, okay, DRS has been enabled. So, as I was saying, with David currently in P1, Marcus in P2, and Batmato in P3. So, a three-way battle for P1 in the Drivers' Championship. This is going to be an interesting showdown for these next few, it's been an interesting showdown for today. And it's going to be an interesting showdown next week as we head into Brazil next week. This is currently the penultimate race of the season. We're on lap 20 of 25, so we're almost done with the race. And as there's a battle going on, as David is building up a bigger gap ahead of Marcus, there's currently a bigger, there's going to be a closer train. There's going to be a DRS train behind Alan Liam. In just a little bit, we've got Alan Liam ahead of the battle. Then we got Kiko, Katsuyama, Zamor, Toxic Planet, and the Walkers. So it's currently a 6-way battle for P5. Actually, no, it's not going to be a 6-way battle for P5. But there is going to be a DRS train anyway. And there goes DRS train. Katsuyama and Kiko were side by side. Katsuyama does get past Kiko, but then Kiko takes that position back. And there's DRS again. And Marcus does get past David. But David's not letting up. He's fighting back. Oh boy. We've got an exciting battle ahead of us. This battle for P1 might just remain for the rest of the race. And now Alan Liam has been catching up to Brian B. So now the pressure is going to be on Brian B for the rest of the race. As Alan Liam, Katsuyama, Kiko, Zamor, and Toxic Planet, and the Walkers are all starting to catch up. Brian B will unfortunately get a 3-second time penalty. And speaking of penalties, here's what we got for penalties so far. Everyone has 3-second time penalties except for Tuturula, who has 12 seconds worth of a time penalty. Oh, is Alan Liam gonna get past? Yes, he is. Alan Liam will get past Brian B, as does Katsuyama. And will Kiko be able to get past Brian B? Probably. But Brian B will now have DRS, and now Alan Liam, currently in P4, will not have DRS. He's going to be the one who has that DRS, who's going to be involved in that DRS train. Katsuyama managed to get past Alan Liam, as Kiko does get past Brian B. Toxic Planet gets past Zamor. And the Walker's still back into P10, or still in P10, I should say. I think Zamor may have hit a wall. I don't know for sure. But Batman will have a 3-second time penalty again. So now, we've got Alan Liam and Katsuyama having a battle of their own for P4. Is Alan Liam going to get past? No, he will not be able to. Not yet. This has been interesting. We've got a battle in the front, and we're also having currently a battle in the midfield. And the safety car, I think there may have been a crash. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, we're gonna be having another safety car. So, what is gonna happen now? We've had 2 safety cars in this session. So, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how these last few laps are gonna turn out. Hopefully this safety car lasts quick, because we're on lap 23 of 25. David, currently in P1. Marcus, P2. Batmato, P3. Calcisoda, Alden Liam, Kiko, Brian B, Toxic Planet, Zaymore, and then the Walkers. That's your field. That's what the field looks like so far. If you're just tuning in, we're on the final few laps of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in United Racing League here on our YouTube channel. It is absolutely insane seeing how the tables have turned. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I am just on the edge of my seat right now watching all of this unfold. And thankfully it seems like the safety car will come in this lap. I cannot confirm that until we see it on the top of the screen. And we are on lap 23 of 25. This has been a wild race. I know I'm basically being repetitive, but I don't know what else to say. Safety car is going to come in this lap, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing over and over. Well, this is a nice little view right here. And David sends it off. He sends it in. Zaymore gets a 5-second time penalty for colliding with Toxic Planet. It was probably just a minor tap. But yeah. I think Toxic Planet and Brian B were side by side. Batmato gets past Marcus. And Adeline gets past Kachasova. So now, with Batmato ahead of Marcus, this is going to get interesting to see how the championship standings are going to hold after this race. If it stays like this, then we could see an interesting battle ahead of us. There's your penalties right there. Batmato has 6 seconds of penalties. Marcus only has 3 seconds of penalty. And Liam also has 3 seconds of penalty. Kiko, Kachisola, and Toxic Planet are the ones that do not have penalties right now. Zaywar has 8 seconds of penalties. Brian B and the Walkers have 3 seconds of penalties. Everyone's currently on soft tires. So now, it's pretty much just going to be a fight for... And Kiko gets a 3-second time penalty as well. So now, Marcus gets past Batmato. And now Marcus is probably just going to be chasing down David. We're on the final lap. But if David can keep this position secure, he could win. But what also could help is, even if he gets overtaken by Marcus, he would need to build a 3-second gap ahead of David, which could be a bit of a stretch. Since we're at the last lap, Batmato having a battle with Marcus, as is Alan Liam in this battle, and Kiko could be in this battle as well. Kachastoma will be in the battle as well. So it's going to be a different battle. There's going to be a battle in the midfield. Toxic Planet will have a 3-second time penalty. And now Kachastoma and David, the 2 Mercedes drivers, are the only ones without penalties. So my prediction is that maybe Katsusoba could get up on the podium, potentially, considering the penalties that are given to the drivers ahead of him. If Katsusoba keeps up this pace, and David will be just cruising around right now, just chilling, doesn't really need to do much, but he's still not, he's not going to be celebrating too early yet, but he's going to go into that last turn in just a few seconds. And that means that David is going to be the winner of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix for this season, and he will extend his... Yes, he will be on another... He is on a win streak right now. He is... Yeah. He's the only driver in this season to have a 3-win streak right now. That is absolutely impressive work from David. Marcus will get driver today. He started from, I think it was P10. He finished in, I don't know what position he's in. I think it's P2. Yeah, it's P2. And it's Alan Liam who... Yeah, Alan Liam, who is P3. So, your results. David, Marcus, Alan Liam, Kiko, Brian B, Bad Mata, Katsusoba, The Walkers, Toxic Planet, and Zay Moore. Tuturula, Meesbox, and Stretcher Tise, unfortunately, will not be able to... We're not able to finish the race. And... yeah. Marcus, I think he also might have won the championship. Anyways, with all that said, yeah, Marcus will be the champion of Division 8, Season 4. And, yeah, this has been United Racing League. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Division 8, Season number 4, race number 13 in Saudi Arabia. And, yeah, this has been a wild race. And, yeah, there's not really much else to say. Stay tuned next week for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And, yeah, we'll see you all next week.